Hey, 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 welcome. I am your host, Marla Renee Stewart, here on Biz Saturdays. To you all today, answer your questions on anything related to a person who, handles folks in a intimate way. This is your kind of AMA, okay? Catherine, thank you. Hi, I'm fabulous. Love SDS. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Make sure, are you coming to SDS this year? You got to make sure you get your ticket in April. Please make sure you go and do that. We're excited about SDS this year. It's going to be our 10-year anniversary, y'all. So excited about SDS. It's going to be really looking forward to like all of the things that are, happening. So yes, I already got my text. Okay, awesome. Welcome to SEX Business. I am your host, Marla Renee Stewart, and we're here and Instagram. I'm super excited to have you all with me, hanging out and doing the things. So I'm here to answer any kind of questions that you may have around on your forefront of your mind, you need advice on. I'm here to help you. I know as we get into this business, sometimes I know I didn't really have any kind of help or context into, do how I need. And this has helped me tremendously. Coaching, I realized, some business coaching, intimate business coaching before. But I feel like there's only maybe a few of us right now that are actually doing it. And so I'm just, super excited to answer any kind of questions that you may have or in your mind. So let me see here. Just pulling up for you all now. Okay. So if you don't know, you should know. First ever Be Successful Business Summit. It is happening. Use the code Marla10 for $10. Phenomenal presenters who are going to be talking about different kinds of businesses. So your virtual only. I think. Reading in something sexy. Ooh, I love that. That is more erotica. There's actually, that is huge, right? I mean, there's lots of apps or have erotica read to you. Way to be kind of IRL feeding into people's fantasies. Because I really enjoy when people read it, because you have your own. Get into it. So if you're thinking about going into that, you maybe take a class from some folks who are already in that atmosphere to see what they're doing. I know around OF and because I just really had to see some insight, and I signed up, and then what to do with this, and I'm like, I to actually make it happen. So but I definitely do think get educated about OF and see if you can find some mentorship around that, to see if there are folks who are are and help you out. Yes, I do love King Noir and Jet Setting Jasmine too. And they're going to be at the Business Summit. So that's super exciting. They're going to be at the Business Summit talking about sustainability, DX work, right? You're so excited to have them out and doing the damn. Haven't gotten your ticket yet, make sure you check it out. Marla Renee Stewart, Biz Summit. All right. And of course, if you have a question, you can always /successama. That's SSAMA for questions. All right. Our first question. How do I move into intimacy coaching? So as y'all know, if you've been on my Instagram or my posts around like, and people, sent me DMs and were like, hey, I want to know how to move into intimacy coaching. Like maybe you were an educator before, maybe you sold some toys. This is to move into intimacy coaching because people need it. People need it. A lot of people think like, oh, people, I think it's just a mind myth that people think that people don't spend money, but they do, right? That's why we have, sex therapists who are doing things, who are helping out folks. But I do highly, highly suggest that you, when you're moving into either mentorship or training, intimacy coaching on my own. I'm self-educated. However, I do come from academia. So a lot of my background is in academics. I've studied psychology, sociology, women's and gender studies, public health, and HIV. I've studied a lot, I read a lot, and then I moved into this business. Now, you do not have to get a sex coach certification. Some people I am a certified sex but that literally just means that I paid an institution. I'm certified. And it only that, the standard, right? And their standard is based off of, it could be academics, it could be maybe, it's up to you. However, training is necessary. And like I said, whether that's through mentorship or whether that's through academia or through certain I think you definitely have to have the education to move into this because the left is harm this work. So I highly suggest getting some training, getting some mentorship, and then that way. And again, things, doing things for free, but we should all be paid. But if you think about it, any kind of training, you are going to, so for instance, if I massage therapy, you have to do however many free massage hours, right? To get your, license, right? Your massage therapy license. And so it's really important that there is a decent amount of training that you get before you step into this, because you just don't want to thing and then just not being helpful. And again, you just don't want to harm people when you're getting into this work to do around people struggle with a lot of things in their life. And so you really want to be educated. So again, whatever your avenue is, whether or whatever, mentorship, find the best way that fits you and your schedule and what you would like to do. You just don't want to, like I said, move into it I've repeated myself 50 million times, but that's the main point. Don't harm people. So, get the training. All right, y'all. Again, if you have a question, you can feel free to submit it at qrco.de/successama. And I will be happy to answer your. Have not gotten my free social You should check that out. Because it gives you the fact. I had somebody DM me and was like, oh my gosh, your social media cheat sheet. Where can I find more information? And I was like, well, actually, I do have the class. I do have a class called Sexual Social Media, and it is it's a class that I have in my program. So it's one of the modules in my program, but it really helps you to think about how you are posting on social media, put out there, because you just don't want to be in a position where your page is. I had someone come to me in my DMs and was like, my page is shadow banned and I don't know what to do. I've, deleted posts, I've changed language. Like, what should I do? And I was just like, it really just depends on each post. I really can't tell you, I would have to look at every single post to be like, what are the things that get flagged? But we really have to think about how AI is. That it might not just be, someone ran flag. Again, in my sexual social media class, I talk about trolling people, or if you are coming across controversial, sometimes if you piss people off, they may report your post. If they keep reporting, is when you might start to get shadow banned. So unfortunately, I feel like a lot of times we have to play it safe on social media. If we don't care, we don't care. And honestly, that's just a little aspect of the business. And you don't necessarily need to be successful in the business. So that's something I do want you all to know, is that yes, social media is great. It's a way to get the message out. It is all, and you can honestly, you need to get in other. Okay. All right. Another question I came across that I wanted to answer. How do I get information about moving up from one income? And I thought, oh, this is such a good question. Now, I do answer these in my Be Successful official program. One of the things I learned, especially as a coach, is that each level you move into, or each bracket, you are and getting 25, less than 25K to 50K or 80K is going to look very different when you hit six figures. You know what I mean? So when you hit 100K, you have to do things a little, and that's okay. Is sort of excuse me, what are your next steps? And again, that all depends on where you are in your income. I will say though, I was talking to a colleague of mine and I was like, in order for the Hello 7 group is from 100 to 250K, right? So I'm in that bracket. So one day, then I'm going to have to think about different aspects of the business. But right now, the focus really is on expanding your team, right? So once you get over 100K, it's best to start expanding your team. That means you are asking for, whether that's through hiring someone, an admin assistant, able to do maybe different projects for you. Of course, when people are like, I made $1 million as a solopreneur, because they hire people out. Whether that's, I've had interns, I'm actually looking for mentees, which I will be putting out. Have not. If you're not on my email list, please make sure you get on my email list. Looking for mentees who I will be training to be sexual strategists. Excited about that, and but again, it's sort of like, when you get over 100K, you need to start hiring people and you need to start expanding your team. So super, super important. I'm just saying from that income bracket. And again, you move income bracket, you are going to need to move up, right? So the first thing you're going to need, though, is your signature product or your thing. What is your thing, right? So I would love to hear from y'all here on Instagram. I would love for you all tell me more about what you do, and where in the next year do you see yourself moving up in income bracket, or do you have a certain, you have to decide what your services are going to be, what you are going to concentrate on that thing. I talk a lot about this when I'm talking about this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. When I first started coaching, so I'm gonna do a podcast, I'm gonna write, but coaching is my thing, right? So workshops and podcasts into wanting to see your work. So it's super, super important that you think about how you do this work. So that means, are you doing education? You have to think about your audience, but you have to concentrate on that one thing. Once you get that one, you're moving, shaking, rolling, then you can move into other things. I started off with coaching. I started off with workshops and everything, and then I moved into, now I get asked to do therapist. And even though I'm not a therapist, and I am an intimacy coach and a sexual, I like to call myself a sexual strategist, because I help people in that particular realm. I think it's super, super important that we understand that you can move into different things once you've already honed into that one thing. For instance, if you are selling products, so say you are selling toys, it's a great avenue income. Actually, we'll be having two toy owners, shop owners, one online boutique and the other at the summit. So if you have not gotten your Be Successful Business Summit ticket yet, you need to make sure you do that. Of course, use your ticket. So yes, okay, so yes, great point. I want to move from relationship coaching. Yeah. And the thing about therapy is, I feel like therapists are pretty limited on what they can and believe like coach a better aspect, especially if you're someone like me who's like, no, I need to like what I'm talking about, right? And a lot of times I have now, don't get me wrong, I think sex therapists are, and I think they do a wonderful job. I think can do because of the rules and regulations around like licensing, and you have to state, whereas me, I can coach anybody. I've coached people from all around the world, and so I think that aspect, you wouldn't be able to do that. So yay, I'm glad you're moving into coaching. I think that's great. And it helps to expand your horizon. If you know all that knowledge from, relationships, sex therapy, you can bring that into the coaching. So the only thing, insurance, which I have a workaround. So, I mean, one of the, I guess, cons, right, around coaching is that it doesn't really get it covered by, health insurance for some folks, and really in order to get their needs met. And so you can become, if you're moving into coaching, you can become a health coach. And if you become a health coach, you can take insurance from people. So y'all, that is one thing that I will be doing. I have payment plans, and I try to make it as financially accessible as I can. I also recognize that, if somebody can buy healthcare, that might be a way to go. Now, I know some therapists are kind of like, oof, but I do an hour of therapy and then like 2 hours of paperwork just to get paid, dollars or however many dollars, right? And I totally understand that. Of course, one of these days I'm probably going to consult someone to think about how, what filing for insurance means, what does that look like, and whatnot. Definitely will look into that. Yeah, definitely look into the health coaching. Absolutely. If you are a part of my program, my Biz Successful program, I literally had my assistant, my old look up and put all of the information like in a spreadsheet. If you are part of my program, you do have access to that information, and it's done for you. Like I said, I'm trying to do this the easy way for everybody. I know I struggled in this work, and have to do that, right? You don't have to do that. It's not necessary. If somebody's already program is. So hopefully you all can check it out. Not check Business Summit, please make sure you check that out. Biz Summit is the next couple of weeks. I have 17 phenomenal presenters. Amazing. I have Goddess Amina. I have Shadeen Francis. Ray McDaniel talking about their Miller, Jess O'Reilly, Tiffany Hope Rogers, Heather Shannon, Dirty Lola, Tayomi Morgan, Jet Setting Jasmine King Noir, William and Misha from Bonobo Network, Zoe Ligon, Bevan Morgan, Luna Matatas, Midori. Midori's closing us out. So I am super, super excited about this incredible lineup. Fantastic. And of course, if you can't make any of them during the week, they will be recorded and you will have access. So please make sure you check that out. Of course, there's more if you want those, as well as the schedule. All right, y'all. Questions for me? Question. Oh, yay, good. Please join the program. Yes. Yes. I'm telling you, I did all the work. You ain't got to do all the work. So yeah, because I'm in California. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You got your ticket for the Successful Summit because it's going to be amazing. And I mean, you're already in the program, so I believe you will already probably have access to these talks anyway. I just want to, let you all know that. What other questions y'all have? No? Again, if you don't have my free social media cheat sheet to just don't want to miss it, yeah, don't miss it. But if you do miss it, it'll be recorded, so you won't miss it. Or you can come back to it at any time. If you don't have my free social media cheat sheet, please check it out. If you have sexual social media, please it's just a really great cheat sheet, and it's a really great class that helps you to focus in on where your audience is and want to say to your audience. So yes, if you have not, if you are like, oh wait, where's your program? You can go to QRC Sex Biz sign up. That's ZNUP. Please join the Be Successful official program. If you haven't already, again, I've done all the work, so you don't have to. It's only going to get better. So yeah, there's that. Well, it doesn't look as though I have any more questions or moments. Any questions? Yes. Tell me. You know, a lot of you want to move into which is great. I love what I do. And I feel like I'm a mom today. I was just like, you know, I don't think I'll ever what do you call it? Like, I don't think I'll ever stop. I love it so much. You know what I mean? The only way I would stop doing this work is if I became a movie star. That is one of my goals in life, is to your emotion. Pray for me, y'all. Maybe one day I'll get it. Caramel Cuties. I mean, I love this work. I think it's amazing. If you are in this work, I praise you, because, you know, we go through and it's, you know, it can be difficult, but it's not so difficult that it's not unachievable. You know what I mean? So there. He says, me being a healthcare professional, I know it sounds crazy, but just having topics to talk about. Yeah. Like, you feel like you struggle with family. All you have to do is like a brain dump. Go to Google Docs and micro brain on like all the things that you know of. Bibliophile, so I literally probably have books on all the topics. So there's like never ever thing to not talk about. You know what I mean? Okay, I got a question here. Let me just type it up really quick so people can see. How do you physical limitations, abilities, and coaching? This is such a great question. Really great question. So physical limitations or disabilities in my coaching practice. So one of the things that when you get into your coaching intake form. And so in that intake, always ask if people have any kind of physical limitation. Because I'm usually dealing with people's genitals and things, I'm always asking if they've had surgeries, if they've had a vulvoplasty, a vaginoplasty, if they've had anything, right? So I take form so people let me know what's going on so that I can address them. Now, when it comes to abilities and I'm coaching virtually, just make sure that I know what are the physical limitations have to always be explicit in, always have to tell my clients, you have to be explicit in what your physical limitations or your disabilities are, so that right? And for me, when I'm even giving workshops, I still think about my language. And I think that's really because, I have a lesbian friend who has no arms, right? So it's kind of like, because she doesn't have any arms, I can't be like, put your hand here, you know what I mean? So you really have to know your audiences. And when I say something like, I usually go like, if you have a hand, you can place your hand. So talk in a very sort of inclusive way. It's important that you think about that have physical limitations or disabilities, and as if you were speaking to them. And I think because of able to, you're really able to give them the information they need. So physical limitations, disabilities. So yeah. So for instance, I always make sure, like, can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, people who have can't do this move, right? Or people who don't have Cardi B tongues can't do this move. You know what I mean? So any kind of physical limitations, however it's relevant. And even in my classes, facing workshops, I usually tell people, if there's a disability you have or a physical limitation or something you need specific advice on, the chat, DM me, because there's always going to be alternatives and ways that we can, not sometimes, like, if you can't do something, you can't do something. And, and unfortunately, there's always alternatives to different kinds of pleasure. So, there's I'm just being very helpful. Language, and it starts with you that in your intake form and really being open to to folks who have physical limitations or disabilities. Thank you for that question. Let me see here. So I'm going to look into the program. Yeah, doing everything myself is draining. It's absolutely draining. And you do need a team, and you do need a whole team. I love Upwork. It's a really great website. People like hiring like sort of one-offs. Like I had some, $50 to put all my old blogs from my old website to my new website, right? I had someone doing PR for me, like, and then updating my website and stuff, and updating, media quotes. So I had, so you can always certain aspects of your business if you're not ready to hire a full-time person. But once you get over 6 figures, absolutely, you can't do everything yourself. It's just impossible. And even when you start to get close to 6 figures, I think you should think about hiring people out to do whatever kind of things that you need to certain sort of, right? So right now I have a project I am like, been dragging my feet on, and someone, and I just all this shit and then put it in a database for me. You know what I mean? So that is kind of one of my things. So he said, I didn't realize how much nursing will help me after asking this question. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Marla. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Y'all, any other questions? That was a really great question. because I think it's I wanted Bianca was supposed to present this time around, but I'm definitely gonna do this, and we'll join all for the business about disability and access, and like for folks in this industry, because we want. So I'm a PowerPoint horse. I have to think about my PowerPoint presentations. I have to make sure that, like, when people are registering to get them the things that they need, for the classes. So it's important for me, as much as I think about, physical limitations and disabilities. So I still have that privilege of being able to, it takes me sometimes just a longer think about accessibility, because I come from a privileged place in that aspect. So just know your privileges, your oppressions, can slow you down or speak. When it comes to things, I just think understanding that about yourself is about, being self-aware. So, and if you are self-aware, then you are able to be open and ensure that you are doing the best that you can do, better. Know what I mean? All right, y'all. That was a really great question. So, again, if you have a question, you can at qrco.de/successama. That's SEX. Answer any of your questions that may come through. Even point. I've not heard about the Biz Successful. There will be some really great. Marla 10 for $10. Marla, what's the name of the app? Is it Upwork? Yes. So if you want to hire someone to do something like a project, or maybe you want an administrative assistant, my support specialist came off of Upwork. Using Upwork, and I think it's just upwork.com. So correct. So hi, Bright Eyes Buns. So yeah, just is a great website. Like I said, if you need some project management or not need a project handled, or you just you're welcome. Just getting some help. You need the help. You know what I mean? So let's see here. Any other questions that you all have for me? Again, if you haven't checked out my program, please go and check that out. It's the Be Successful official program. It's qrco.de/sexbiz sign up. And you can just it for you. There's there too, but it literally, you have access to all the different modules where I like walk you through everything. I think it's a really great program. I really am like spoon feeding you that I did not have as a person, in this industry. And so, yeah, you met me years ago. Okay. What was happening? All right, y'all. Any more questions? Or you come back, check out Sex Biz Saturdays each. It took me. I have to see your picture. I see you. Yeah. Well, let me not say it because I don't know if you actually have it on. Jamaica, yes. Hedonism. Oh, such a great time. Yeah, so anyway, if there are no more questions, then I will see you all next Saturday at noon. Please check out the program. Please make sure you check out the summit. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, any of those things will help. Yes, congratulations on everything. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And